Stanford. It was a classic matchup. Both teams had stellar guard play. Virginia with its senior tandem of Dawn Staley and Tammy Reese. Stanford with junior Molly Goodenbauer and sophomore Christy Hedgepeth in the backcourt. Goodenbauer established the pace with a steal and score. Then the Cavaliers' twin towers, juniors Heather and Heidi Burge, combined to establish a presence of their own.
There's a shot in the high lane area that's nailed by Heidi Burge. Heidi Burge with a shot, evening the score at 2 apiece.
Goodenbauer was everywhere at once, covering the floor. But she was matched by Staley and found that covering Staley would be no easy matter.
Foul on Molly Goodenbauer of Stanford, her first. Dawn Staley at the line, and she swishes to Charity. Her second shot is good. Well, she penetrates the arc. She goes to the lane. She goes in the air, and she shoots it in there.
Staley and Reese moved into position. Matched by Stanford sophomore sub Kelly Dougherty. The action moved right back to the Virginia backcourt.
Tammy Reese up the floor to Dawn Staley for the layup.
Val Whiting, junior center for the Cardinals, was heard from as well.
Tammy Reese for 3, off the mark.
Stanford forced Tammy Reese into a couple of costly errors, creating opportunities for themselves.
And a drive to the goal and a foul on Tammy Reese of Virginia. Tammy a little disgusted with herself. Foul shot misses, however. Rebound fought for, tipped up into the air, and Val Whiting ends up with it. Now Goodenbauer for 3. She hit it. Molly Goodenbauer with a 3-pointer.
Thanks largely to its guards, Virginia began to open up a lead midway through the first half. But Molly Goodenbauer with a 3-pointer and a couple of assists sparked a Stanford comeback. Christy Hedgepeth helped the cause. And the Burge twins helped each other as well as their team.
Heidi Burge to Heather Burge at the foul line. She shoots it in. Heather Burge first field goal, and Virginia leads by 6.
Virginia's Melanie Wagner and Dina Evans started their own dynamic duo act, each with a jumper and an assist, to put the Cavaliers up by 5. Then Molly Goodenbauer caught Evans lying down on the job and took advantage. Goodenbauer and Dougherty pulled Stanford to within 2 points as the half came to a close.
A chance for a last-second shot. 5 seconds. Staley from out front misses. Rebound saved by Tammy Reese. And she can't get off a shot. Time expires. And halftime is here.
The Cavaliers were able to hang on to their advantage when Stanford made mistakes.
Dawn Staley right of the lane. A shot up and good by Dawn Staley.
Val Whiting's jumper kept her team within striking distance. The Cavaliers, with a little help from senior Audra Smith, kept piling on the points.
Staley right side holding it high out front to Tammy Reese, who leaps to receive it. Reese a shot from the circle. Good! Tammy Reese only her 3rd basket, and it's now a 6-point Virginia lead.
Whiting and Hemmer continued to keep the Cardinal alive and in the hunt. But every move was countered by Dawn Staley.
Left perimeter now it goes to McMurdo. Back inside to Rachel Hemmer, and she's alone inside for an easy basket, her first of the ball game.
Long-range specialist Molly Goodenbauer received a pass from freshman guard Kate Pay and threw up a 3 to get back in gear. The combination worked well enough that they tried it again. Every move was matched by Virginia.
Evans missed a shot, but this one is followed in by Heather Burge for Virginia. Only the 6th point for Heather. Now Goodenbauer again from long range, and she hit another three-pointer.
Rachel Hemmer, who had given the Cavaliers fits on defense all day, committed her 5th foul and was banished to the bench.
Rachel Hemmer fouls out, having scored just 4 points.
Heidi Burge met the same fate 2 minutes later.
Now Audra Smith back in for Virginia, and out goes Heidi Burge. Val Whiting at the line. She is hanging on the back of the rim and rolls off, and it goes out of bounds.
A struggle for control of a critical rebound went Virginia's way.
Rebound saved by Stanford, but picked off by Dawn Staley. Staley to the other end, dishes to Tammy Reese, who scores.
Val Whiting, ably assisted by Goodenbauer, took on the task of getting Stanford up to speed.
I wasn't personally trying to take over the game. I was just trying to, go after things offensively and defensively. I feel like our team is here on a mission, and we have one more game left.
Sharpshooter Staley answered the Cardinal challenge, as did Kate Pay. Time was running out for both teams, and the result was a desperate fight for possession of the ball for the final shot. Kelly Dougherty calmly added a much-needed point to the Stanford side of the scoreboard. But she couldn't sink the second attempt, setting Staley off and running. Seconds later, Staley tried for the same result on an identical play, but the game appeared to be over.
It's up for grabs. Virginia's got it, and the ball game's over. Time has run out on the clock. The ball game is over. A whistle blew as time was running out, but the game is over. But hang on, the other official has gone to the scoring table. They're going to put some time on the clock, it appears. And now they're going to drop off a couple of tenths and go down to 8 tenths. That's what they did.
Dawn Staley's final shot of the game and final play of her college career just missed its mark. The stage was set for Sunday. It would be Western Kentucky and Stanford matching up in the last game of the season.
One of those individuals was looking for an unprecedented third NCAA national title. Lady Vol sophomore forward Lisa Harrison turned the opening tip-off Tennessee's way. And the teams played evenly for the first few minutes of the half.
Good rebound taken out by Staley. Here comes Virginia on the run. Looks inside for Wagner. It's not loose, and Adams has got it for Tennessee. Bounce pass comes into Castile, and inside for Head. Spins inside, puts it up and in.
Gina Head on the Tennessee side matched baskets with Heather Burge.
And Burge puts it up from 15, and she got it. Heather Burge from the free throw line ties it at 4. Looks at a screen on either side of the top of the circle. Takes the one on the right by Wagner. Looks to go on top, can't find anybody. Now goes inside for Burge. Great left-hand layup is up and in for Heather Burge. She's got 4, and it's a 6-4 lead for Virginia. Left side pass knocked away by Reese, but Head's going to put it up from 17. A two-pointer, and she got it. Tries to drive the baseline. She's cut off by Head. Great scoop shot inside. She got it. What a great job.
Unbelievable shot by Dawn. Then the Virginia backcourt of Staley and Reese went front and center, putting Virginia up by 8.
Reese left side, 16-footer, got it. Staley left wing, drives inside against Adams, running one, handers up and in. She's got 2 more.
Tennessee took a timeout to regroup. But when play resumed, the Virginia defense was determined to preserve its lead.
They have trouble getting it inbounds. There's the 5 count. Couldn't get it inbounds, and the ball is turned over to Virginia.
Deidre Charles and Lisa Harrison began to help Dina Hedge close the gap.
Dishes off. Nice pass inside. Charles lays it up and missed it. It was partially blocked. She puts it back up and in. Got the offensive rebound and a basket Tennessee needed. That's her first 2. Make it now 14-8 in favor of Virginia.
Dawn Staley contributed to the Virginia cause with a driving layup.
Out it comes to Staley. Run to the break. Left side for Reese. Penetrates in the lane. Backs up. Puts one up and in.
Tammy Reese added points and emotion. But Heidi Burge was charged with a foul that demoralized the Cavaliers and fired up Tennessee.
Adams with Reese right there. Right side of it go. Driving the baseline. Harrison puts it up from 12 feet. She got it. That's a big bucket for her. Right side it goes for Cardoza. She'll put up the 3 from the right wing, and she got it. It's a 23-14 Virginia lead. 7:30 left in the first half. Harrison at the free throw line launches one, and she's got 2 in a row now. 4 points for Lee Simpson. Right wing for Reese on the dribble. Tries to drive baseline. Cut off. Now spins into the middle. Has it knocked away. Bounce pass goes inside for Keisha Ward. Loose ball almost goes out of bounds. And Cardoza traveled as she tried to throw it off of the foot of Harrison. It'll go out of bounds. Drives baseline against Cardoza. Puts up a 10-footer. Quick shot, no good. Gets her own rebound. Fakes it. Puts it up, and it curls out, no good. Charles with a rebound. Got it for ties. Cardoza, right wing for Reese. Fakes the 3. Nice drive on the baseline. Picked up by Charles, who's there to stand and catch the ball and block it. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Lets it go, and it bounds out, no good. And we have reached the half here.
The first half ended with a 1-point Tennessee lead and confidence on both sides. It was Tennessee's turn to surge ahead early in the second half. The Lady Vols employed a driving inside game, utilizing the talents of Deidre Charles and Dina Hedge. Virginia's inside game consisted of Heidi Burge, whose height advantage made it difficult for Tennessee to shut her down.
Head top of the circle, fakes the 3, drives to the line. And Burge is right there for the block. Head gets it back, spinning one-hander, got it. She's got 14 now, and it's a 35-30 Tennessee lead. Staley, lob pass inside for Burge. Turnaround jump shot, and it is there. Heidi Burge with 4 points. Head left wing. Goes inside for Charles. Turns around against Heidi Burge. Baseline 7-footer, rattles home. To Charles at the free throw line. Puts it up over Burge. It's an air ball. But Caldwell's there for the offensive rebound. Puts it back up and in. 2 points for Caldwell. 39-32 Tennessee.
When they finally began to deny Burge, the offensive duties were taken up by Dawn Staley on the perimeter. Staley fired up 3-pointers.
Staley for 3, got it. What a big 3 for Virginia. She's got 13, make it 39-35 Tennessee. Head against Reese. Comes off the screen, tries to drive baseline. In traffic, throws one up and it goes. Staley for 3, and she got it. Staley with 2 3-pointers in a row. She's got 16, and it's a 1-point Tennessee lead. Instead, it's on top. Evans from 15 is up and in. Evans has 4 points, and it's 49-46 Tennessee. Burge gets her own rebound, puts it back up and in.
Heather Burge started some hot shooting, and the score was tied at 50 each.
They clear it out for Staley. Drives, pops 5-footer, curls no good, and Burge will be called for over the back, and she's fouled out.
Then Heidi Burge committed her 5th foul.
Smith, top of the circle. Left side for Reese. Drives in against Caldwell, who reaches it. Check it. That's Hannah reached in, took it away. Inside it'll go. Evans in the lane. Fakes the shot. It's blocked away by Bird. Inside, Tennessee's got it. Head throws one up and in. What is she doing on the inside? She's got 18 on the putback. Staley left wing into the corner for Reese. Fakes the 3. Drives in. Running one-handed. Hook shot. Curls it in. Tammy Reese with the hook has 6. Left wing, Harrison open, 16-footer, good!
The teams began trading baskets. The score began to seesaw.
Drives baseline, and she's open and lays it in. Staley answers head drive. 59-55, Virginia sees Charles. Instead goes on top. Adams, open 3 is curling, no good. Head fight for the rebound, but Staley's got it.
The Virginia backcourt enticed Tennessee into costly fouls.
And Reese will go to the free throw line.
But though Staley and Reese had opportunities to keep one step ahead of the Lady Vols with free throws, they couldn't get the ball to drop.
And I think our team looked at each other, and everybody looked each other in the eye, and I saw fire in everybody's eyes, and nobody wanted to give up.
Tennessee, down by 3 with 1 minute and 15 seconds left in regulation, still had a chance. They made the most of it.
I went up to the free throw line with confidence, and I think the rest of our team went up to that free throw line and did the same thing.
Two-point game. 21 points for Head. Harrison gets the inbound pass to Head. Head comes off the right side. 9 seconds. Drives the baseline. Head to knocked away. Foul called on Cardoza. And Head will go to the free throw line. And let's see if they say 1 and 1 or 2. She was in the act of shooting. And it's 2 shots. Head is 3 of 6 on the day and makes a big, big free throw. We have 7 seconds remaining in the Women's National Championship game. Virginia leads Tennessee 60-59. Head at the line. Takes 2 dribbles. It's on the way. It's good, and we're tied. Wagner will trigger the inbound pass. Gets it to Staley. Staley brings it up. 5 seconds to go. 4 seconds. Staley drives in. Left-hand layup. No good. Bird with the rebound. No! We're going to overtime in New Orleans.
It was the first overtime game in women's Final Four history.
Head drives in. Spin move. Right side. Adams. 3 on the way is no good. Burge comes down with a rebound. Burge with 8 rebounds now. Cardoza top of the circle. Staley left side for 3 is front of the rim. No good. Staley there gets her own rebound, but they say she walked, and it'll go out of bounds. It belonged to Tennessee, and Staley's not happy. Cardoza stops it, knocks it away, but a foul will be called. Cardoza called for the personal foul.
The overtime period belonged to Tennessee. They grabbed the lead on free throws and never relinquished it.
Left side, Cardoza drives in the lane. Left-hand layup up, no good. Burge with a rebound put up, no good. And Charles comes down with this one for Tennessee. Head drives baseline, puts it up, no, but she is fouled. She's 5 of 8, make it 6 of 9. She's hit at least 3 in a row that I know of and has 24 points. She's got 2 shots. Her team is down by that many points. First one bounces off, no good.
Yes, the foul shooting was a huge disadvantage right there, that we were getting fouled and not going to the line and making at least one of the 2.
It's no good again, and Harrison comes down with a rebound for Tennessee. Gets it back to Head. We've got 1 second difference on the shot clock. And Head is fouled by Audra Smith, and she'll go to the line. First one. Good. This second one for her is good. Now Virginia needs 2 possessions. 68-64 with 20 seconds to go. Staley drives in the lane, puts it up, it's no good. Fights for her own rebound in the lane, puts this one up, and it's no good. And Tennessee's Harrison comes down with another rebound. She's got 13 rebounds, and with 11 seconds to go, she'll go to the free throw line. Harrison 0 for 1. First one is good, and that may have done it. They are celebrating on the Tennessee sideline. Staley gets it in the backcourt. They need a miracle. Has it. Running three-pointer is up and good with 5 seconds to go. And the clock winds down to 4 seconds to go. All Virginia has hope for. The free throw is up. No good. Wagner gets it to Reese. There's the long throw. No, it is no good. And Tennessee has won their...
Pat Summitt had her 3rd national championship in 5 years.
This one is sweet because of this team and their attitude and their togetherness and how they handle the adversity and the challenge. I told them 3 weeks ago I would love them whether they made it here or not. But just play with their hearts and play with their heads, and we would be here. I really felt that.
Down a couple of
victory over Texas on the Longhorns' home court. The Terrapins were to face the Lady Volunteers of Tennessee, 1987's NCAA champions. The Vols had an easy time achieving their 6th shot at a national championship, breezing past their East Regional competition by an average of 25 points per game. The major reason the Vols swept through their regional contests was Olympian Bridget Gordon. Her Olympic teammate Vicki Bullitt downplayed the gold medal matchup.
It's going to be, you know, their 5 players in Tennessee and our 5 players in Maryland. You know, Bridget's their team role player, and, you know, I'm part of my team as being, you know, helping, you know, my team to get as far as they can.
This was the 4th straight year Tennessee was one of the 4 final teams, a women's record. Coach Pathead Summitt is familiar with the hype, hoopla, and second-guessing that go with such a prestigious event, but knows that the game is won or lost on the hardwood.
You know, a lot of people have talked about maybe Maryland came out too early. They came out on Sunday. Last year we came out on Tuesday. We decided to wait to come out on Wednesday. They don't have a bench. We have a better bench. I saw Texas, and I know better than that. So you're searching. All that I told our basketball team, it comes down to who plays for 40 minutes the best basketball. You can throw that out. I don't care when you arrive in Tacoma, how many days you practice, and whether you've been here before or not. I think that what you do, you go out on the floor as 2 talented teams.
And 2 very skillful squads came out with guns blazing as All-American Dina Tate drew first blood for the Terps. Tennessee senior Sheila Frost countered with this putback, and the race was on. The Olympians were performing as expected for both teams. Bridget Gordon was contributing both offensively and on the boards, and Vicki Bullitt was following suit. 1989's Coach of the Year watched as her seniors in their 4th championship appearance showed the underclassmen just what it means to be a Lady Vol. Frost dominated Bullitt and the Terps off the glass. And Gordon, Tennessee's all-time scorer among women and men, was on fire from the start, 7 for 7 from the field. Conversely, the Terrapins and their highly touted backcourt of Carla Holmes and Dina Tate were as cold as ice. Pathead Summitt's Vols led Chris Weller's Terps by as many as 7 points, and nothing was going right for Maryland. Until Dina Tate took over. Maryland's all-time steals leader showed why she was chosen All-American for the first time. She kicked Tennessee's pockets 3 times in the first half and scored 18 of the Terps' 31 points, single-handedly keeping her team in the game. Yes, Dina Tate showed some magical unselfishness to boot. With Tennessee holding a comfortable 8-point lead early in the second half, Tate continued her magic. Her 4th steal of the night in this coast-to-coast reverse put her at the 20-point mark and keyed a Maryland 11-2 run. Vicki Bullock came back to life with a three-point play. And Carla Holmes, scoreless in the first half, scored 5 in the run, including this three-pointer to give the Terps a 42-41 lead. The Lady Volunteers came charging back just as quickly. Melissa McCrae fed senior teammate Sheila Frost for this jump hook. Frost scored 6 points in a 12-0 Tennessee run and again had Weller wondering what she could do to stop the Vols' talented front line. The answer? Nothing. Sophomore Deidre Charles got into the act with a bucket of her own. Tennessee's front line outscored Maryland's 59-26 for the game, with Frost accounting for 25 and Gordon 24. The same Maryland backcourt that had carried the Terps to Tacoma suffered their poorest game of the year in this national semifinal. The Tennessee Lady Volunteers, however, played the same consistent brand of basketball that has characterized Pathead Summit's team for 15 years. 1987's national champions had been embarrassed in 1988 by not winning at all and were determined not to let that happen again in 1989.
I think what happened last year is that we defended the national championship for the entire season. We not only defended it, we played an extremely difficult schedule. And I think it took everything out of us, everything that we had to get back to the Final Four. This year, it was a little different for us. We had a tough schedule. We played 21 games against ranked teams, but it was
position until Auburn defeated them in January.
And Texas with 31 victories and only 1 defeat. In the end, though, the tournament belonged to the team that showed up with the least glittering credentials, the Tennessee Lady Vols. Tennessee at the Summit, the story of the 1987 NCAA Women's Basketball Champions time in 6 years by winning the Mid-East Regional. The Lady Vols had no trouble with an intrastate rival, Tennessee Tech. Then, after beating a strong Virginia team from the Atlantic Coast Conference, had to face top-seeded Auburn, which had beaten the Volunteers twice during the regular season, each time by 6 points. But in the Mid-East final, Tennessee got even and then some. In the opening semifinal, Tennessee met Long Beach State, the highest-scoring women's team in the country. Long Beach earned its first trip to the NCAA National Semifinals by beating Washington by 15 points, Southeastern Conference rival Mississippi by 39, and finally, Ohio State by 20. Long Beach State, coached by Joan Bonvicini, was favored over Tennessee, coached by Pat Summitt, mostly because its sizzling attack had averaged 104 points per game in winning its last 13 in a row. Tennessee knew that to have a chance, it had to slow down the soaring pace and step up the physical pace. On the opening tip, Tennessee's Kathy Spinks knocked down Long Beach's Cindy Brown, setting the tone for a very physical game. 13 seconds after the tip, Tennessee's Tonya Edwards, a freshman, started the scoring with an 18-foot jump shot. Tennessee brought a 26-6 record to the semifinals, and with 9 victories in its last 10 games, seemed to be peaking at the right time. Spinks quickly got into foul trouble. She committed 2 in the first 4 minutes, and Brown sank 3 of 4 foul shots. Long Beach took an early 7-4 lead. Bridget Gordon, a 6-foot sophomore who had averaged 26 points per game in the first 3 playoff games, soon caught fire for Tennessee. Her turnaround jumper put the Vols back in front. Gordon scored 13 of Tennessee's first 19 points, 5 of them from the foul line. The Long Beach fans had something to cheer too. Cindy Brown, the 49ers' 2-time All-America, who had scored 72 points in the last 2 regional games, accounted for 7 of her team's first 11 points. But as gifted as Brown was, she set an NCAA record by scoring 60 points in a regular season game. She couldn't get the Long Beach offense revved up to its normal pace. Gordon's layup, she was fouled on the play, helped Tennessee open up a 17-11 lead. Gordon, the first freshman ever to start for Pat Summitt, had led the Vols in scoring, both as a freshman and as a sophomore. Midway through the first half, Penny Toller, a sophomore guard, connected to bring Long Beach back to within 4 points of Tennessee. But in the next 5 minutes, the high-scoring 49ers were held to merely 2 points. Tennessee added 8 points during that stretch, 2 on Sheila Frost's jump shot, and the Vols stretched their lead to 10 points. Long Beach State, though, rallied in the last 5 minutes of the half. Brown's jump shot cut Tennessee's edge to 6 points with 4 minutes to go, charging up the Long Beach fans. And then, 2.5 minutes before the intermission, a senior guard, Margaret Moore, hit on a 15-footer to reduce the deficit to 3. Cheered on by her 49er teammates, Cindy Brown accounted for the last 5 points of the first half. She scored first on a layup, and to the dismay of Pat Summitt, the former United States Olympic coach, drew a foul on the play. When Brown sank the foul shot, the score was tied. It stayed tied until 11 seconds from halftime. Brown connected on a 16-footer from the baseline, her 13th and 14th points of the half, lifting Long Beach State to a 2-point lead, setting off 49er cheers, even though the team's point production was far below its normal pace. Tanya Edwards, the Tennessee freshman from Flint, Michigan, took command of the game in the second half. Edwards, who had averaged only 8 points a game during the regular season, scored 10 of the Lady Vols' first 17 points after the intermission. Tennessee moved in front, but Toller, who scored 7 of Long Beach's first 13 second-half points, managed to keep the 49ers close. Midway through the second half, Long Beach drew to within a single point on Moore's one-hander. '49er fans had even more cause to celebrate when Brown, the 6'2" senior from Oregon, executed a clutch 3-point play, drawing a foul on this layup. When Brown converted the free throw, she moved Long Beach into a tie with a little more than 5 minutes left in the game. The game was tied one more time at 55-55. Frost scoring for Tennessee on a layup. But then Tennessee suddenly and convincingly took charge. The Lady Vols, who made 50% of their field goal attempts in the second half, scored 9 straight points, 2 from Melissa McCray on this 18-footer. Tennessee lengthened its lead to 6 points when Gordon, who wound up with 21 points, pulled up and hit a 10-foot bank shot. Meanwhile, Long Beach went almost 2.5 minutes without a point, the drought ending appropriately on Cindy Brown's basket. Long Beach, however, had little more to cheer. Penny Toller did score 23 points for the 49ers, but her jump shot with a minute to play was too little, too late. In the closing minutes, Brown, who ended up with a game-high 27 points, fouled out, and with her teammates and coach urging her on, the cool Tennessee freshman, Tanya Edwards, made 6 straight foul shots. She finished with 21 points, matching Bridget Gordon's total, and Tennessee finished off Long Beach by a comfortable margin, holding the 49ers to their lowest point total of the year. The Lady Vols advanced to the championship game for the second time in 4 years, fully expecting to face the defending national champions from Texas. But Tennessee and Texas were in for a surprise. Austin had lost only 1 game in 2 years. Still, its semifinal opponent, Louisiana Tech, was not intimidated. After all, Louisiana Tech, national champions in 1982, had ranked among the nation's top 4 women's teams for 9 straight years. The Lady Techsters had won their first playoff game easily, beating Northwestern by 22 points. Next broke away from a halftime tie to defeat Southern Illinois by 13. And then, in the Midwest Regional Final, barely outlasted Iowa by a single point. Texas, en route to the national semifinals, encountered no difficulties in its first two postseason games, routing St. Joseph's by 30 points and James Madison by even more. But Rutgers put up a sturdy battle in the East Regional Final. Down by 6 points at halftime, Texas had to score 55 points in the second half to win by 8. The Lady Longhorns, whose only loss was to Tennessee early in the season, were the main reason the arena in Austin was sold out. But Louisiana Tech had its fans too. Louisiana Tech moved to an early lead. Torrey Harrison, who would end up with 20 points, hit the game's first basket. And the Lady Texters led by 4 points when Nora Lewis, who matched Harrison's 20 points, connected on this jump shot. Louisiana Tech never trailed in the first 10 minutes. The margin, though, was never a comfortable one. All 5 of the Texas starters had tasted success as members of the undefeated 1986 National Championship team. Clarissa Davis, one of 2 Texas All-Americas, set up Beverly Williams for this basket. Louisiana Tech coach Leon Barmore knew his team had to contain Davis, the Longhorns' high scorer. But Davis, the most outstanding player in the 1986 championship, dominated the court in the first half. Davis's hook shot delighted her coach, Jody Conrad. Davis was one reason Texas stayed close to Louisiana Tech. Another was Yolanda Winbish, a 5'9" junior who scored 8 of Texas's first 16 points, 2 on this layup. Texas's other All-America, senior Andrea Lloyd, a 4-year starter, did not score a point in the first half, but Clarissa Davis scored 18. Only a sophomore, the 6'1" Davis from San Antonio, did everything for the Lady Longhorns. She scored, she drew fouls, she battled fiercely under the boards, she had 3 offensive rebounds in the first half, one leading to the basket that lifted Texas into a 20-20 tie midway through the first half. Davis scored the next 2 baskets, too. The second, set up by one of her 4 steals, helping Texas open up a 4-point lead, its widest advantage in the entire game. But Louisiana Tech did not wilt under the twin pressures of the Texas team and the Texas crowd. Nora Lewis put the Texters back in front when she grabbed an offensive rebound and scored. The outnumbered Louisiana Tech fans saw Paulette Stahl come off the bench and make 3 straight shots in less than 3 minutes just before halftime. Her All-America teammate, Teresa Weatherspoon, setting up this layup, which set off Louisiana cheers. Beverly Williams scored 6 of her team's last 12 points in the first half, and her basket 18 seconds before the intermission helped keep the Lady Longhorns within striking distance, only 4 points behind with 20 minutes still to play. Urged on by the band and by the large partisan audience, Texas fought back. With 3 minutes gone in the second half, Andrea Lloyd, who had missed all 5 shots she attempted in the first half, grabbed a rebound, scored, drew the foul, and made the foul shot to cut Louisiana Tech's lead to 1 point. But then the Texters spurted, opening their lead to 5 points on Angela Lawson's 2-pointer. Louisiana Tech, however, could not pull away. Not in the next 7 minutes, anyway. Clarissa Davis's fadeaway jumper brought the Lady Longhorns within 3 points. And to make Tech fans even more uneasy, Texas soon cut the difference to a single point. Beverly Williams, who scored 15 points for the Longhorns in the second half, their only consistent threat, scored on a layup to bring Texas close, to put the pressure on Leon Barmore, who has been coaching at the Louisiana school for a decade. Barmore's Texters shut down Clarissa Davis for most of the second half, limiting her to 8 shots and only 6 points. But when she followed up Yolanda Wimbish's missed foul shot, she brought Texas even with 13 minutes to play. Texas, though, never did manage to get ahead of Louisiana Tech in the second half. Nora Lewis, who made 5 of the 7 shots she took after the intermission, put the Texters back in front. Texas did catch up twice more, at 60 and at 62, thanks largely to Beverly Williams, who was a tiger under the boards. Williams grabbed 7 offensive rebounds in the second half, 5 more than the entire Louisiana Tech team, and lifted her point total to 23. Tech caught fire with 8.5 minutes to play. The Texters outscored Texas 11-2 over the next 4 minutes, with Teresa Weatherspoon, the All-America guard, leading the surge. Weatherspoon, a 5'8" junior, scored 5 of the 11 points and finished the game with 19 points, twice her season average. Spoon also had 7 steals and 11 assists. Louisiana Tech seemed to have the game well under control when it built its lead to 10 points on Nora Lewis's basket with only 4 minutes to play. Louisiana Tech fans had good reason to cheer. The Lady Texters made 74% of their shots in the second half, and with less than 3 minutes to play, the difference was still a formidable 8 points. Texas lost its All-America senior, Andrea Lloyd, when she committed her 5th personal foul. The Longhorns could have surrendered right there, but didn't. Instead, they scored 6 straight points in a little more than a minute. Beverly Williams got 2 on a jump shot, igniting the fans. And then got 2 more with a steal and a layup, igniting her team and her coach. Suddenly it was a game again, a drama. Only 2 points separating the teams. Only 45 seconds remaining. Weatherspoon made 2 foul shots for Louisiana Tech. And when Beverly Williams connected on a jump shot, the Lady Longhorns were still 2 points behind with 3 seconds to play. The Texans called a timeout. They knew they had no choice but to commit a foul, hoped that Louisiana Tech would miss, and try to set up one final desperation shot. Clarissa Davis committed the foul, her 3rd in 30 seconds. And with 1 second to play, and with the Tech band urging her on, Weatherspoon made both her foul shots to wrap up the Louisiana Tech victory, to move the Lady Texters into the championship game against Tennessee, to dash Texas dreams of a 2nd straight title. Texas was the first team to score more than 70 points against Tech in 19 games. 19 straight victories for the women from Louisiana. Tennessee by 12 points during the regular season. Their 9th straight victory over the Lady Vols, spanning 7 seasons. The 2 teams had met in the 1982 NCAA semifinals, and Tech had won by 23 points. But this was 1987, and this was different. Tennessee controlled the tap, and only 4 seconds into the game, Tanya Edwards put the Vols in front. Tennessee had a remarkably young team. Edwards was a freshman, and the team's 3 highest scorers were 2 sophomores and a junior. Louisiana Tech, on the other hand, was led by its senior center, Torrey Harrison, and by its junior guard, Teresa Weatherspoon, both of whom had started every game for 3 years. Weatherspoon stood out in the early minutes of play. Her layup gave Tech the lead at 6-4. Barmore was looking for his 2nd NCAA championship. He was co-head coach in 1982. Summit was looking for her 1st. Her team went ahead 8-6 when Edwards' foul shot missed, but Bridget Gordon took the rebound and scored. The Lady Texters drew even after 5 minutes of play. The Lady Vols might have taken command early if it hadn't been for Weatherspoon. She scored 7 of Louisiana Tech's first 11 points. Her three-point play, 5.5 minutes into the game, gave the Techsters a three-point lead, 11-8. The rest of the game belonged to Tennessee. The Lady Vols outscored Louisiana Tech 23-9 over the next 13 minutes. Tonya Edwards started the surge when she took a rebound and scored. Then, to the delight of the Tennessee fans, Sheila Frost came off the bench and scored the next 7 Tennessee points. The 6'4" sophomore center, a starter since the first game of her freshman season, overcame Tech's last lead of the game with a three-point play midway through the first half. She hit on the hook shot, was fouled, and added the free throw. Tech did manage to remain in the game until the score reached 19-19. Then the Lady Vols ran off 10 straight points. When Carla Horton hit from the key with 2 minutes left in the half, Tennessee stretched its lead to 11 points, and its followers could almost taste the national championship. Louisiana Tech, which had shot so brilliantly against Texas, shot horribly against Tennessee, making only a third of its shots. Weatherspoon ran out of gas. She connected for a field goal only once in the last 34 minutes of the game. Only Nora Lewis's 12-footer, after she had missed 4 of her first 5 shots, enabled Tech to cut Tennessee's lead to 9 points at the half and gave the Louisiana fans a temporary boost. Their fans were full of spirit, their cheerleaders ready with sound advice, but in the second half, the Lady Techsters never could get going. Their offense continued to sputter. Kathy Spink's only basket of the game gave Tennessee an 11-point lead 2 minutes into the second half. Good reason for Tennessee's fans to cheer. Louisiana Tech couldn't fight its way back into contention. The Tennessee defense was just too stingy. The best he had ever seen, said Tech coach Leon Barmore. Torrey Harrison, who made only 3 of 11 shots, did connect to cut the Tennessee lead to 8 points, with 16 minutes to play, giving Barmore a glimmer of hope. But Tennessee then went on a 15-4 rampage that wiped all the drama out of the game. 3 Lady Vols scored 13 points each, including Bridget Gordon, who got 2 here. The only senior in the Tennessee starting lineup, Shelley Sexton, contributed 8 points, 2 on this 16-footer. The Tennessee fans were ecstatic as the Lady Vols continued to widen their margin. Barmore had no magic formula to revive his team, totally frustrated by a Tennessee defense that forced 20 turnovers, even 6 by the usually sure-handed Weatherspoon. Tennessee waltzed to its victory. Tonya Edwards, the freshman guard, was named the most outstanding player of the championship. She was one of the Tennessee trio that scored 13 points each. She'll be back for 3 more seasons. Gordon, the team's high scorer all season, will be back for 2 more. And if that isn't enough to delight their followers, the other player who collected 13 points, Sheila Frost, will also be back for 2 more seasons.
If you or someone you know has trouble hearing...
Some problems early in the year. Coach Summit benched 4 starters to shake up the team when it suffered through a mid-season slump. But they had grown into a magnificent championship team. They held Louisiana Tech to its lowest scoring total in 13 years. Pat Summit's 318th victory, capping her 13th season at Tennessee, was certainly the sweetest for the former U.S. Olympic player, the former U.S. Olympic coach.
Winning the NCAA championship was extremely exciting and very rewarding. This team had an attitude that they were on a mission, and their mission was to win a national championship. We just really looked at this as another weekend of competition, another tournament, not, hey, this is the national championship. It was an attitude that I think allowed us to play a little bit more relaxed and maybe have a little bit more confidence and certainly a greater intensity and concentration on what had to be done.
Tennessee had been ranked among the nation's top 20 teams for 11 straight years, but not higher than 10th since 1982. Now, without question, the Lady Vols were #1.